There's a reason why I bought $44 face value in silver quarters. And if you hang out for a little bit, I'll tell you why. Hey everyone, it's RobFindsTreasure. Welcome back to the channel. I told you in the intro that I bought $44 face value in silver quarters, junk silver, 90% silver quarters, constitutional silver quarters, whatever you want to call them. And there's a reason why I bought them. Basically, if you guys have followed along with my quarter hunts, you know we have slotted 78 of the 146 quarters that these two Eagleback editions hold. These are Dansko quarter albums. And even though we've done well getting all the clad and a handful of the silver quarters, it's taken us 178 boxes to slot a handful of the silver quarters. And I figured to come to the conclusion that we're probably not going to find all the silver quarters. Well, we've known this, but we're not going to find all the silver quarters from just coin roll hunting. So I bought a little bag to kind of give the albums a jump start. As you know, in book number 2 of the series, which houses most of the clad ones, and we've got them all in nice examples, of course, we are missing one 63 Philadelphia to complete this book, which we'll hopefully do today from this bag. And then book number 1, the older silver quarters, man, we are missing a ton. Lucky that we've even found these ones through just coin roll hunting, but we just need to get a little uptick here, a little jump start. And I figured what better way to do it than to go to my silver dealer and ask him if he had any silver quarters. He said he had just about $44 worth. The bag's gone up and down for people buying some. And I said I'd take them all. So hopefully in this bag, we can not only find that 63P to finish this album, but maybe we can find some of the older ones. And yeah, that's the plan today. So the plan is to dump the bag out. Then we'll go and sort them by decade, then by year and mint, and then, of course, take the best examples and put them in the albums, fill up some spots, and then update this sheet. Of course, these quarters won't count on the year-to-date finds, 15 silvers through 35 boxes, since this is not really hunting a box. Also, I'll be using my Silver Coins variety mat here as well. There are quite a few Washington varieties that are the major varieties, like I have listed here on the mat. We'll be looking for all of these. And then there's a few different DDOs and DDRs in the 60s, as well as the Type B proof reverse quarters we'll be looking for. All right, I've talked a lot. Let's go ahead and get this bag dumped out. Let's see if we have some goodies in here, and let's begin the hunt. All right, quarters don't need a slow motion dump out. They sound great just as they are. And yeah, looks like I saw some BU looking ones, but they're probably gonna be all 64s, maybe some 63s like you see here. Is that a Philly? It's not. But anyway, I'll be checking the nicer examples, like I said, for the Type Bs, some of the DDOs and DDRs, and then of course, the older ones. We'll see if we got any great years like any 1932s in here. But either way, time to go ahead and get them sorted by decade. Once I have them by decade, we'll see what we have as far as the stacks are concerned, and then I'll bring you guys back in for a quick peek before I get on to the next step. Well, I said I'd be back after the initial sort, but take a look at this. I've got a couple of finds in here that I was surprised to see. We've got a pretty slick 1875 seated Liberty quarter. Wasn't expecting that. And when I lifted it up, underneath it was looks like a Type 1. Yeah, Type 1 SLQ. No date, but we know it's 1916 or 1917. But we also know that it's basically going to be a 1917 since the 1916s are so rare. But there's a few diagnostics I've covered in other videos. And by the split ponytail pointed up, you can see there's 2 lines. This is going to be a 1917, pretty obvious. But either way, wasn't expecting those 2 goodies in here. And by the way, I didn't even check for a mint mark. No mint mark either. So 1917 Type 1 Philadelphia. Couple of fun finds. A lot in the 60s. Wasn't expecting so far so many 62s and 63s. But yeah, 30s, 40s, and 50s as well. Let's get back after it. We're almost done with the initial sort. All right, we've got them sorted. Surprisingly, as many in the 60s as we had, none from 1960. We got a few 61s, a lot of 62s, pretty good amount of 63s, a ton of 64s as expected. Nice little stack of 50s, good stack of 40s, and a handful of 30s. And then, of course, you saw those 2 older ones, which I will take any day of the week. Now that we've got them sorted, I think I'm just going to start from the back and work my way forward. We'll go with the oldest ones first. Of course, I'll be looking for any of the major varieties, none of the minor varieties, just the major ones in the 30s, and I didn't see any 1932s. We'll get that out of the way with right now. Let me go ahead and get these sorted, check for any varieties, bring it back, and we'll plug them in the album. Well, it wasn't very many 30s, and it was easy. 34P, 35P and D, 36P, only two 37Ds and a 39P, and then two damaged coins I'll set aside since I really can't resell them like this as far as for full value. So I'll just set them aside. But either way, no varieties either. Let me take the best ones, which are on top actually, and I'll plug them into the book and bring you guys back in, and then we'll start the 40s. All right, we've got them plugged in the album. Nice fill in some spots. I didn't mention that it was a lower mintage earlier because it's in such bad shape and the fact that we got two of them, but the 37D is a lower mintage. That being said, it's pretty ugly. All right, 30s are done. Let's move on to the 40s. I'll bring you guys back in after I've got them sorted. The 40s are done. Not a lot of different years and mints. I mean, we have a lot of different years, just not a lot of different mints. We have the 40P and S, only the 41D, the 42P and S, the 43P, a ton of 44Ps, 45Ps, 46Ps, 47 and 48Ps, and then one lowly 49 Denver with some scratches. All right, let's go ahead and find the best ones, plug them in the book, and then I'll bring you back for the 50s. All right, the 40s are added in. We actually upgraded a couple as well, so that's always fun. I'll give you guys a full look at the book at the end. Time to move on to the 50s. Let me get them sorted, and then we'll see what we have for those years. Here are the 50s. Not a lot of the ones in the later years as far as having both mints. We don't have a 59P, we don't have a 58P, and we have none of the 55s. We don't have the 54 DRS, no 53 PRS, and no 52S, as well as no 50D. Of course, it would have been nice to check for the D over S over mint mark. We did check the 50S for the S over D mint mark, and we didn't have that. That being said, there we go. We'll go ahead and plug them in. It's nice seeing a couple of S mints here in the 50s. Let me get them in the album. I'll give you a look at those, and then we'll move on to the 60s, which will take some time.
1 hour later.
Well, unfortunately, went through all the 63s and 64s, as well as the 62s and 61s. No DDOs, no DDRs, no Type B reverses, no Type C reverses, but these are the nicest ones, and again, nothing from the 1960 year, which is kind of a bummer. Let me plug these in to this album and the other album. I'll be back with a look at the books with a new stat sheet about how many slots we filled up now. All right, we've got all of the quarters plugged into both albums. I now can close out the 1963 through 1998, the last year of the Eagleback quarters before they switched to the state quarter program. That feels good, and all of these are really nice because we got to upgrade the ones that we had from today's hunt into the album. The older Eaglebacks from 1932 all the way to 1962 Denver, we were able to add in 31 additional plus that one 1963P for a total of 32 additional add-ins today. And now from 78 of 146, we move up to 110 out of 146 slotted. And I know some of you are going to say, hey, Rob, it's not really a hunt and fill. You didn't get them cornrow hunting. Well, we knew we weren't going to get them all cornrow hunting anyway, and I wanted to give a little bit of a uptick in the amount of productivity in the books. And of course, as I continue to hunt quarter boxes, should I get upgrades or additions, we'll continue to upgrade and add to these albums. Hopefully, despite the lack of varieties and not a lot of really nice quarters, you guys still enjoyed this silver quarter hunt and fill episode. If you did, I certainly would appreciate that thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting, and thanks for watching.